What's up, family? I'm Real Mike Rob. Make sure you tuning in to the 3-point conversion radio. They got all of it, and they keep it funky. Let's get it.
What up, what up, what up? It's your man, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? You're back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge, and I got my guy to my right. Mace, what up, dog?
Wednesday, man, hump day. I feel a little extra inspired today because kind of y'all can't see him, but in the corner over here somewhere, one of the gentlemen, I have a lot of great uncles and stuff that influenced me, but this uncle over here, he over here somewhere, but he one of the biggest Jordan haters in the world. But he taught me a lot about being competitive in life. So, you know, why he can hear me, I give him his flowers why he can hear me, if he can hear me, but yeah.
Wait, real quick. Why does he hate Jordan?
Well, he just say Jordan got all the calls. He just like, you know, in a world where everybody was pro Jordan, he one of these guys that always went left. He always went against the grain.
Okay.
If everybody going right, he gonna go left.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. And see, that's why I asked, because, you know, for people that's, I say, older than 50, they 55, I'd say even 55.
Yeah.
It's a particular reason why they don't like Jordan.
Yeah.
It's what up, Jacob? It's a particular reason.
Why you think?
Well, I think no, I'm saying it could be that, like, it's not like these kids today. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. So in all honesty too, it's like the eras, and so they just grew up, you know, tough minded. And see what I'm saying? Listen, he's always said that, he's always been true to it, but it always made me, I couldn't always just argue like black and white with him. You always had to go deeper.
Right.
He always had to go deeper, but he would always be like, man, I know a dude up the street who better than Jordan. It's like, say he's still on.
See, and that's what I'm saying. But you got those. They're either, like you said, they felt like he got all the calls. You got some that felt like that was New York fans. Some just hated Jordan to be on top all the time. You know, maybe they love Dr. J. You know, it's a particular reason.
Well, Aunt was a man, like he always talks about how Magic is not in the GOAT conversation enough. Like, Magic taught people how to win. Like, a lot of people really rock with Jordan. I mean, rock with Magic. But again, he one of the people that always kind of opened my mind to. That's why you've never heard me chime in on a lot of GOAT conversation, because between him, my dad, they always taught eras. Like, every era was different. Right. Every era brought something else to the table. And that's why you kind of get these conversations now where, oh, he couldn't play in this era, or he couldn't play in this era. It's just one of these crazy things all the time, dog.
Right. That's what's up, man. Shout out to Unc, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to everyone who's in here. What up, TJ? What up, Jacob? Yeah, I say you, Jacob. He already asked who's worse. So, but hey man, I'm glad it's Wednesday. Hey, Lisa, if we talking sports, it's great time for sports right now. This is this is the best time in sports for me. Even though when football starts, it's great for football. When in spring, you got baseball playoffs, basketball is wrapping up, WNBA just finished. You got hockey about to start, and college football. But that's the beginning. Right now, everything matters right now. NBA by jockeying for position to try to get in the playoffs, trying to get a better playoff position. March Madness, that's like, come on now.
The method.
Yeah.
I turned in my winning bracket today. I'm gonna win the office pool this year. I'm gonna win it without a doubt.
I gotta turn in mine, man. I hadn't did it yet, man. But we
real quick, shout out to Alabama State for the play-in. They bro. Big win last night. But it gets some Auburn.
Yeah, let me ask you this though. Last night, doesn't it seem like, now I don't believe so with college, but we always talk about, Mace, or you always hear people talk about how football is rigged, NBA is rigged, and all that. I'm not saying college basketball is rigged.
Hey man, give me one of them dogs.
The best part of March Madness is the fact that it always comes down to the end. You're always gonna get something like this. It seems like every year. Buzzer beaters, upsets. No, you can't beat that.
Yeah,
you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So, shout out, man, to Alabama State, man.
No doubt, the Hornets.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Like I said, we got a great show for y'all, man. We're talking March Madness, of course. We're supposed to have Deshaun Tate come in. We have NIL, man. This NIL is starting to show now. To me, I think it's not evil horns, but it's starting to show the bad side of it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm still with kids getting their money, it's not on them. But it might be time for a realignment. I'm just saying. We're gonna talk about that. Also, man, we got to talk about Cincinnati. They just, I don't know where they're giving all this money. Then they're trying to talk to Trey Hendricks. But they paid their wide receivers now. Their offense is pretty much locked in for the next 4 years, so they're good.
Right.
We got to get into that. And then the Hawks, man, bro. As much as we talk bad about the Hawks, they're about to get into the playoffs. They're almost there for the playoffs.
They're scrappy, baby. They're scrappy, baby.
Very scrappy, dog. Very scrappy. And then we got Dr. Fowler coming on with your injury report. And then we got, man, Major League Baseball talk, bro. We almost there. So hey, I can't wait to get in. TJ, me and LeBum, everybody. Everybody just hate, see what I'm saying. Hey, yo, it's time to get to these quick hits, man. It's crazy. Let's get it. Mace, listen to this, dog. The Detroit Lions have proposed a revised playoff seeding that would use regular season records as a guiding principle rather than the division winners, whatever. So basically, you'll still have your number one seed, the best record in the NFC or AFC. But what they're proposing is now, like last year, Minnesota was ranked number 5. It was the 15 because you had your other division winners, right?
Right.
You get a higher seed. Well, they're saying we wanted to where Minnesota should have been the number 2 seed because they had the second best record in the league.
Yeah, that's false.
And moving in and all of that.
Trash.
I mean, in the league, but in the NFC. But yeah, so you hate it already.
It's trash. So I mean, the thing of it is, dude, the first metric to make the playoffs, you got to win your division.
Right.
You have to win your division to get in the playoff. If you don't win your division, okay, Minnesota, you had 2 shots to beat Detroit, and you didn't do it. So miss me with that terrible idea, and Yeah, whatever, man. That ain't how this works. Win your division first, because your division matters. You got to be king of the North, the South, the East, West, whatever. You have to win your division, and then go from there. So yeah, nice try. Bye. Bye, Detroit. Bye.
You know, first of all,
Terrible. It's terrible.
I was shocked at that, and I don't know if they feel like the Bears about to win the division. I'm just kidding, but I don't know what made them say that, because you would think somebody that's been on top of the division, they wouldn't want that. You know what I'm saying? But
here we go. Soft. That's why everybody think this time, this era was soft, because hey, let me take up for my little brother down the street. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. Win your division, get in the playoffs. Again, the Falcons were 6-3, had the division locked up pretty much, and what happened? Didn't deserve to make the playoff. Didn't deserve to make it. So win your division first, and then let's talk about it.
So let me come back to that. This is what I'm saying. If this is, I kind of understand that. I feel you, but because they're not saying division winners don't get in the playoffs. Division winners get in the playoffs. What they're saying is
the seed and no. So Rap. So I know where you're going. So dude, if you go 12-0, but you lose 5 division games, bruh, your division record is not good.
I
don't care about your overall record. Did you win your division? Did you win your conference? You got to win your conference.
I understand that. And TJ, if TJ listening, he know about this, because I'm gonna get myself a stop it, because I said you can't bring in real football with fantasy. So
stop it.
I'm gonna just give it already. But I'm gonna bring this in, because TJ hates this with when it comes to fantasy football. But we've always talked about, what up, Antoine? We always talk about how. So if your division wins, this division, like you said, the NFC North, they fought for the number 1 seed. Both was 12-4, and both were like 4-1 in the division until I think Minnesota beat Detroit. No, they didn't. They lost to Detroit. So they was 4-2.
Right.
But you lose. But then you have another division team, a team that won a division who was 9-8.
Dude. They won their division. They should be ahead of you. I'm not gonna reward you because you finished second place and they finished first. That don't make sense. That don't make sense nowhere.
But
win your division. I don't care about your record. You didn't win your division.
But okay. For instance, the NFC South last year, the NFC South was trash, and Tampa Bay barely won a division. I mean, they ain't barely won.
Tampa Bay won a playoff game.
True.
No, what are we talking about? You have to win your division.
No, Tampa Bay lost.
Trumps you winning your division.
No, Tampa Bay lost. They lost to Minnesota.
It don't matter. They were a division champ. They deserve a home playoff game. If you didn't win your division, get your hind pots on the road. See you. Pack up. Get the 18-wheeler moving. And get y'all tickets and fly commercial or however y'all flying. Get out of here.
Hey, the man has spoken. Hey,
bye. Win your division.
That's what
matters most. Win your division.
Mason's on this. He's serious about this. I'm backing out. All right,
as the youngest say out here in these streets, we standing on that. 10 toes, all 10.
All
standing on it.
Oh man! All right, man. So I agree.
Win your division, Minnesota. You and Sam Donald, y'all had plenty of opportunities to win your division, and you didn't get it done.
Hey.
Whatever.
All right, so we agree with that. Moving on, the Department of Defense restored a story, and I'm gonna tell you, I brought this up because I saw my man Jackie Robinson. This is just crazy, but I just wanted to brief. We ain't even got to stay on this. But the Department of Defense restored a story on his website highlighting Jackie Robinson's military service today after deleting it. This is today, but this was after they deleted it as part of Donald Trump's effort to purge references to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I don't know if they're saying that Donald Trump was the one that helped it get back on, or I don't know. But either or, it had been removed a couple of days ago.
Right.
Whatever from the website.
Yeah.
About Jackie Robinson's military service. This is on the government's website. And then, and when people went to it, the URL had redirected it to one that added the letters DEI in front of its sports heroes. And now they fixed it or whatever.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. This is
Y'all holler at me in 4 years. I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing to say either. I saw it. I'm just like, what the heck is this, dog? What is this?
Hey man, I'm gonna sit there now unless y'all mans find a way to stop taxing overtime. As a matter of fact, just give us all our money. Don't take no taxes. Y'all tax everything else. Don't tax our paycheck. Let us bring all our moolah home. Other than that, miss me with it. I'll see y'all in 4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving on. So the Vikings, speaking of the Vikings, they came out and said that they are not staying with Sam. I mean, they're not trying to pursue Aaron Rodgers, and they're sticking with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
The right move. I wouldn't mess with Brett Favre too. I mean, Aaron Rodgers.
Right. That way.
He's Brett Favre too, dog.
Brett Favre was better though. Brett Favre was better.
Woo. Brett
Favre was better.
First of all, this is the lesser of the evils for me. So both of them go to woo. But you know what, dog? Because I said this. I've been saying this quite some time and telling y'all. So I'm now in season. I just started last night, the first game of the 1996 NFL season. I'm watching Detroit Lions versus Minnesota Vikings. But I've been going through Mace. I started in 93. So I went through the 93 season, the 94 season, 95. And I'm going to say this again. So I've been, and I'll go through each game. I don't go through each game of the season, but I'll go through each week. I watch the first game, the best first game, or whatever game I'm interested in.
Right.
The 4:00 game, Sunday night game, and if it's trash, I just watch a little bit.
Right, then you go to the Monday night game.
Then a Monday night game. I've been doing it each, and I'll watch them all. It'll take me like maybe 2 days or 3 days to watch it because I watch it before I go to sleep, whatever.
Right.
But either or, that joker Brett Favre, because we remember Brett Favre. If your latest memory, it's the Brett Favre that was throwing interceptions, and he was.
No.
But I ain't gonna lie, dog. When I see what Brett Favre was doing, dog, that joker had a gun too for arm.
Brett Favre was him.
He was that dude.
Brett Favre was him.
But I will say with Aaron Rodgers, I probably hated Aaron Rodgers more because it was like, at least with Favre, we knew Favre gonna throw you two that you could get. Three.
But you had to catch him.
You had to catch him though, right? You had to catch him.
He was throwing. He was coming in hot.
Rockets, right?
He was coming in hot. Yeah.
But that joker, Aaron Rodgers, dog, it's like if Aaron Rodgers had the right attitude,
he's a clown.
He could have been the best.
He's a clown and he's a trash individual. I mean,
right?
We gotta stop sugarcoating stuff. He is the thing that made Aaron Rodgers special. He can't do it no more. This man was a one-man wrecking crew. He sabotaged New York. Sabotaged it. Before he left Green Bay, don't tell me about the MVP and all that stuff. They couldn't wait for him to get out of there.
Yeah,
what made him special, he can't do no more.
Yeah, he sabotaged that whole thing. I'll say this. First of all, he has the best. I guarantee you put him in. If it was a competition of, you could put him in with the women of who can roll their eyes the best. Aaron Rodgers could, when you go to commercial, they show Aaron Rodgers rolling his eyes as receivers. Yeah. He was the best at that.
Listen, dude is just not a good human being.
Yeah, he was.
And the fact that I kind of went on a mini rant today because I was on a couple of
you own one today, dog. You own one today. Go ahead.
I was on a couple of national calls today, and it's just crazy the the fact that he even has like first of all, he holding 2 team hostages basically, and the fact that those 2 teams are letting him hold them hostage tells you all you need to know about their organizations, and it also tells you about what they perceive the state of the quarterback position. Right. This guy can help. Did you not watch him in New York last year?
Yeah.
They gave him everything he wanted. So you mean to tell me he had Garrett Wilson, then they brought in Devontae, he got a mean running game, and he still couldn't do nothing? Man, get out of here, because he's not special anymore. He don't want to get hit. He can't move and manipulate the pocket no more, and he can't throw on the move. He's done.
I think he's trying to – his goal is to beat out Brett Favre. I'm going to tell you why.
And he can't do it, but he can't do it.
No, he can't do it because they essentially almost had the same exact career. Believe it or not, they got hot at the right time. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost. The only difference is Brett went to 2.
Right.
You know, Aaron can get to the second one.
I can't. Y'all keep telling me Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl. I don't even remember. When did he win the Super Bowl? I see on his discography that he won a Super Bowl. When did he win it? I don't remember it.
That was 2011. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember because our Super Bowl party was lit, dog. We had it. Yeah. We woke up. We came into a surprise Super. We was a Super Bowl party, but they had a surprise for us. I just remember. Yeah, we had a surprise. Yeah. We in Atlanta too, and you know what Atlanta's made. So anyway, so she came. Well, anyway. But yeah, so I ain't watched nothing, and I'm glad because I hate Green Bay anyway. But
y'all say he won Super Bowl. I don't remember. Yeah,
but either or, the same exact, and then Brett goes to Jets, doesn't have a good year, but he didn't have weapons. What's the name goes to the Jets, don't have a good year. Now I really believe he wanted to go to Vikings because of their squad. He wanted to do like Brett did and show that I can. He's trying to be Brett, dog. That's all he's trying to do. That's all he's trying to do, man. So
pack Aaron Rodgers up, man. Dude the trash.
Yeah,
trash human being. When your family don't like you, they tell y'all you need to know about yourself, man. Get him out of here. Get him out of here, y'all. I'm being funny about Aaron Rodgers winning the Super Bowl, but all I'm saying is y'all keep trying to put him in all these GOAT conversations. I'm like, man, pack him up. Get dude out of here, man. Get him out of here.
Right.
He ain't like that. Because if he was like that, he'd have been to multiple Super Bowls. He would have won multiple Super Bowls. Get him out of here.
He ain't never do that.
Get him out of here. Listen, gifted thrower of the football. I will give him that.
Yeah.
Gifted thrower of the football. And that's why I stopped. Get him out of here.
Yep. All right, let's get him out. We ain't gonna talk about him no more.
Get him out of here.
All right, man. So let's move on to the hot topic. And yeah, bro. Want all y'all to chime in on this because this is just all over college sports. We're not even talking about particular teams or games or nothing like that. So this is the thing right now. If y'all don't know, what do you say? Yeah, right. If y'all don't know, so Auburn Tigers are the number 1 team in college basketball. Right, they're ranked number 1.
They number 1 overall seed in this tournament.
Number 1 overall seed.
Yeah.
The average age of their team, not starting lineup, not seniors, their team, is 23.2 years of age.
Yeah.
All of your players didn't just stay in school. That whole team to just stay. First of all, you can't have a whole team just stay all 4 years at one school. They didn't do that. Yeah. So of course, you had a lot of kids that transferred to Auburn, going against 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds.
Right.
Mace, I'm gonna let you start since you've been on one, dog. With this NIL, how do you feel like? Because look, again, we don't blame the children.
No.
Well, are these grown men? No. We don't blame the grown men, we should say, and some of these children, because they're getting what's just due because the colleges make so much more money and they're allowing it. So, but still, the fact that you have this discrepancy right now in this tournament. You got grown men. It ain't like you got seniors going against,
right,
like 20-year-old, maybe 21-year-old, like a few 2 or 3 seniors going against. No, you have grown men.
Yeah.
Like they said, they're almost as old as the OKC team average.
Right.
OKC Thunder. Speak on it, bro. What you think about this, man? What are your thoughts?
I mean, this is where we are with the landscape of college sports now, particularly basketball. It was a theory, a method out there for so long that the one and dones were ruining basketball. Let's find a way to keep these kids in school 2 to 3 years. NIL has given athletes a way to not rush to the NBA, put something in their pockets. If we can remember that UConn team a few years ago, they called themselves the Hungry Cats.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically, their whole battle cry was, we get out of practice, we don't have no food, we can't go take our girlfriend to the movie, all of these things. So fast forward to what we have today in NIL. I mean, and this is a way for coaches, for AD, just for staffs all together to offer kids, hey, stay in school, develop, also put money in your pocket. And of course, when the tournament comes, there's more eyes on college basketball during these 3 weeks. Maybe you can up your stock. So I don't have a problem with it. Everybody know I'm a Tar Heel fan. Mm-hmm. And clearly with all the resources we have, we still can't buy a good team. So I mean, is NIL helping? I don't know. For Auburn, we will see. But it is giving kids, and again, we've said that college basketball and NBA suffering because of the one and dones. Now let's see if kids stay in school 2 to 3 years. Let's see if they develop. Let's see if they get stronger. And again, at the same time, it's not the rush to, I got to run to the NBA because I go take care of mama. I got to make sure you know how all that stuff goes. So yeah, that's why I am with it.
Yeah, because I mean, again, I don't think they should cut the NIL. No.
Yeah.
But it should be some realignment. They should realign this or reorganize this. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's not necessarily the NIL itself, but what they're using the NIL to take advantage of. So for instance, with the transfer portal, we talking about Auburn. Now, this is how they're getting people to come to their teams.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's not necessarily like they're bringing in, like you said, you would think, North Carolina should get players to come to this. Duke should bring players.
They should.
Those schools are getting it.
Yeah.
You're getting the Auburn, and I don't know why it's not translated to Duke or North Carolina, but you got these other teams that are getting as the Auburns and these other teams that weren't as good. Now that, like I said, doing everything they can to try to win and all of that, right? But now you look at it, like I said, this year, dude, these are grown men.
Yeah, but let's also throw this out, and I hate the NIL thing because we're not paying name, image, and likeness. It's pay for play now.
Yeah,
it's not NIL.
It's not, and that's my point, right?
Yeah, they got to trash the whole NIL. It's not NIL. So the last time the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, it was like 4 or 5 different committees that we were part of, and we basically, they gave us a task of figuring out a pay for play scale for athletes,
right? And
so what we basically said, listen, it needs to be fair across the board because certain schools can just spend, certain schools don't have a ceiling. Well, certain schools have a certain budget that they can't spend outside of that. So we basically were like, just do it in tiers. Freshman year, $10,000. Sophomore year, $20,000. Junior year, $30,000. Senior year, $40,000. $40,000 is the max.
Right.
That's the max across the board. Don't matter if you play quarterback, corner, whatever. It's just fair across the board. But the problem is a 5-star quarterback can hold a school hostage because he can tell you, hey, such and such offered me $2 million. So now I got to offer $3 million if I'm going to get him. And then say the other school got to get in the mix, say, well, I got to offer him 4.
Right.
So that's the problem. And Jacob, to your point, the NCAA did a great job of like, hey, it ain't coming out of our pocket. Y'all figure it out.
We don't care.
Y'all figure it out. And see, now they're putting together now this revenue sharing model that they're getting ready to do. So basically, college athletics, especially football is getting ready to break away from the NCAA because they don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
What is the NCAA really doing? What are they governing? Nothing. The most powerful person in the NCAA, basically the SEC commissioner and the Big Ten commissioner, they tell the NCAA what to do.
Right.
So I think at some point we're going to see college football just completely move away from the NCAA, and it's going to be, I mean, it's basically the pros anyway. It's just above board now, and with this revenue sharing model, this is what we're going to see in college athletics, especially big time college athletics. The money too big.
Yeah, and then you got these these agents, so-called agents, whatever, doing these deals, taking these monies from these children. They don't know. They don't know. And shout out to Shaka Smart. Shaka Smart has come up with this idea of now he's representing his students. But listen to this though.
Shaka. Okay, Shaka.
No, but listen, he's representing these students to get them, but he's not taking any of the money. But he said he's doing this because of
Shaka.
You've seen a lot of people, they've taken advantage and all of that good stuff. But it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Now I know you say, okay, Shaka. So let's say if he is or whatever. But I'm saying the fact that the whole point is it's sad that you have these players, I mean, these money agents and these, don't let it be what's the league called? AAU coaches and all of that, they taking advantage of this, and it's just
everybody's taking advantage of it.
Bad, because I ain't gonna lie, dog. I almost rather it be where it was when Muzz was getting paid under the table. I mean, I mean, because remember that one year with Mississippi State. I mean, was it Ole Miss? Remember Ole Miss that one year? They came out of nowhere. They've been bad all them years.
No more recruiting class.
They had number. Okay, yeah, we know what y'all on right now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Two of my partner sons were in that group, and one got a nice Suburban out the deal. So yeah, I mean, the money everywhere. The pockets are deep, dog.
Yeah, the pockets deep, dog. Like I said, so I mean, I still want NIL to be there because they need to get their money. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I just feel like it's ruining sports right now. I got a question though for you. You think it'll ever be a way like now you can see they can't because that was ruled in, but like Reggie Bush or Eric Dickerson, whatever, could recoup some money or something like.
Oh nah, they ain't gonna let them recruit no money because they gonna tell them when they say they like, bro, you already got paid. Like, but go on somewhere. Reggie Bush, we got your stepdaddy on audio recordings talk about the $600,000 that he took. Reggie Bush, y'all sit down somewhere. Eric Dickerson, we know about the Trans Am, and we know how you were playing Texas and SMU between yourself. Where that money, you ain't pay no tax on that money. Eric Dickerson, sit down.
The funny part is, if you think about it, only people that say, man, I wish I was good at getting their money. I wish I could have got some money then. Or like the players who wasn't getting money, who wasn't getting them deals or whatever. But everybody else who was getting money, not saying they like, hey.
I have plenty of partners that played big time college football. And I was hanging out on campuses on the weekends. And when our season was over and we would go to those respective campuses, let's just say them guys weren't hurt for nothing. And you got to think about it. This was during a time, no cell phones, no internet, no social media. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Them boys were having the time of their lives.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel you, man. Like I said, it's they got to do something. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to do it because we talked about this a long time ago. How it's going to get out of control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it a way you feel like they can retool this?
No, the cat out the bag now. I mean, it's the Wild West now. The only way they can bring it in, everybody has to kind of sit down at the table, and that's why they're trying to do the revenue sharing thing now. Like basically, and so what schools are gonna have now, everybody's gonna have like, hey, basically it's gonna be like a salary cap. This your cap, this your budget. We're budgeting 25 million or whatever the number. We're budgeting that for college for your rosters. Like right now with the collectives. Schools are basically going out like Ohio State this year, basically everybody talk about the $20 million roster. Cardale Jones, who runs the collective, he basically went out and told boosters and alumni, hey, we need $20 million in surplus so we can pay for this roster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what these collectives are doing. They're going out here now, and what schools want to do is kind of get away from these collectives because the school can't control the collective.
No,
collective creating money, they're creating their own entity over here on the side. They like, man, look, we're not asking the school for a dime. This is all private donation. This is all for the football program or for the basketball program.
Right.
Y'all ain't got nothing to do with that. Y'all keep that fund that y'all get and those endowments. We ain't asked for none of that because we creating our own money. You see that TV deal we just signed? You see these naming rights we just signed? Man, get out of here. We don't need y'all money. Keep building that new library and the science program and that professor, the top professor in the country. Don't nobody know him, but everybody know our head coach. Right. That's why he's the highest paid employee in the state because of what he generate. Who generate more money in this state than Kirby Smart? Nobody.
Right.
So yeah, is Kirby worth 11 million per? He is.
Yeah,
look what Georgia, for that 11 million, Georgia is clearing almost 200 to 300 million a season. 11 million dropping the pan. Yeah, that supposed year that Cam supposedly, I can use air quotes, allegedly got the 180 or the 200K. Right. How much money Auburn made that year? So whatever Cam was allegedly paid,
that was like 2%.
Come on, man. You don't think that worked out?
Right. That was 2%. That's why I said, dog, they should have just kept it like they had it, dog. Just get them. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a transfer portal in a sense because it happened. Either some of the players that had to leave the school or whatever and go to another school because they're getting paid. It was just, it was just better. Now it's out of control. Now, like teams are really just out there. Hey, we'll give you $4 million. Well, we give you $5 million. Like they bidding it. Well, like I said, I'm happy for the players, but it's messing up what college sports is all about. You know what I'm saying? It's so, and that's why it is good to see what Alabama State did last night. Something like that. See these kids get the chance to go in there. You never know what happened after that. So
never know.
It's cool. Let me ask you this. So with NCAA, just March Madness, what is y'all who are listening, what is your favorite buzzer beater or most memorable? We can do favorite and most memorable.
Well, I mean, it broke my heart, but the Villanova one, when old boy hit the three against North Carolina. Villanova won that. That was a game that North Carolina was in control of the entire night. And he hits a three. I mean, a dagger.
Yeah, that was was crazy.
Jay Wright, super clean with the pinstripes on, looking like he part of the Sopranos. Broke my heart, dog. Broke my heart. Roy went out like, Roy just can't, here we go again. Kansas Roy just can't get it done. Can't get it done.
Real quick, I'm gonna tell you, it's so many. I mean, I remember and it wasn't a buzzer beater, but what was the school? Not Yale. What was the school? With Lefty. Lefty is the coach. When they did the back cut. And
when he was at Georgia State?
No, well, not Lefty. Who was the coach when they did a back cut against
You ain't talking about Georgia State, are you?
No. This was like 95. And they beat. Let me bring my guy. We're gonna bring, you know what? I'm gonna have him answer this. We gotta bring in my guy, my dog, helping out the 3-point conversion this year for the tournament, man. He's gonna be covering games each round, even the Final Four, from Tate's Take. My guy, Deshaun Tate. What up, Sean?
What up, dog?
What am I talking about?
For having me on, man.
What am I talking about?
From what? Who we talking about?
In 95, it wasn't a buzzer beater, but it was a big upset. The back cut, it wasn't Yale, it was
Princeton.
Remember when Princeton hit the who did they beat?
You the ones you talking about Lefty Drizel, they coach.
You talking about Drizel?
Lefty. I want to talk about who was that coached Princeton?
That would have been
Pete something.
Tim, no.
Old guy with the glasses, though. I remember.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about. You might be talking about Princeton.
But I'm talking about Princeton.
He's talking about Princeton.
95. Yeah, but anyway, who did they beat that year? You don't remember?
Nah, man, they pay me to say I don't know, man. It's a lot to keep up with, man. It's March, bro. Let me tell you something. No, I'm being dead serious. And I know that sounds like really bad radio and like, who is this dude, man? They done boosted him up to sound like the college basketball dude. He don't even know a simple question. You got 363 teams. I mean, listen, somebody brought me on the air not too long ago and asked me something about women's basketball. And I'm like, yo, as much as this is going to sound bad, but I like to be really transparent, right? I don't have the time. I have 363 teams to pay attention to and everybody's calling. And when the time comes about a bracket, I have to have at least one bullet point of something to say about every single team. It's a lot to keep up with. Now we're talking about a whole nother sport, but now I got a daughter, man. So I guess I better get on top of it and start watching some women's. But appreciate you guys for having me on. I can see Maceo over there trying to look it up. So I'm not trying to look it up. He's cheating. Hey, controversy. He cheating, man. He trying to make it seem like
my bracket already turned in. I'm good.
I was talking about the Princeton question.
Deshaun, I'll ask you. And we were talking. I was asking him the most memorable, and that was that's one of my favorites. But the most memorable was not my favorite, of course. Christian Laettner. You know that broke my heart. Like you talked about what happened with you in North Carolina. That broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? I hated Duke. They just got done beating UNLV the year before, so I wanted. I don't know. I didn't cry, but I wanted to cry. I hated Duke, but I never forget that. That I would never forget that. But what's your most memorable or favorite buzzer beater?
Jesus Christ, game winner. No way I have one. Certainly one. I think the one that just sticks out to me, man, has to be. And I don't know if y'all said this already. Probably the 2016 Villanova shot for Chris Jenkins over North Carolina.
Made me cry.
Yeah. Is that what you said, Maceo?
Made me cry, yeah.
Maceo said that one?
Yeah. As a Tar Heel fan, it broke my heart. I mean, I still get nightmares. You know, and not to be petty, I'm glad he didn't make the NBA. I'm glad. Yeah.
I mean, dude, no, listen. I mean, they literally show it every year. There's always going to be that one game or that one moment when the tournament's starting and they, you know, obviously showing all the clips before a game starts and whatever. And every time you hear Jim Nance or whomever that was for the championship, you know, and then you just see the ball. I mean, that's just one of the most iconic. Y'all gonna make me cry up here, man. One of the most iconic and memorable moments, man, for the NCAA tournament. And again, there's so many. You can go Tyus Edney, that's up there. I'm pretty sure y'all probably gonna ask me a question about, you know, some sleepers that I might have. So I have a fun little story about a guy who's now a head coach and coaching in the NCAA tournament, who hit a big shot for Valparaiso at that point in time as well in the early 90s. So there's just too many.
And that's what we were talking about. That's the beauty of March Madness. It's almost like I was saying, you always have they always say NFL is rigged or the NBA is rigged, whatever. They never say the March Madness is rigged. And I don't think it's rigged, but I'm just saying. But you because you're always going to get that. It's always going to be either an upset or a buzzer beater or something that's like you holding your head like, oh my God, like it's just
no. I mean, and I'll say this real quick because I know we got other stuff to get to, but even in the instance where what was the year 2019, I think it was, after this is Virginia coming off of the year that they had lost in the first round to a 16 seed. They come back the next year. They're playing Auburn in the semifinal. And then they get the ball to Kyle Guy over in the corner, shooting a three. He misses it, but they called a foul, which the guy from Auburn did end up fouling on that. And now Kyle Guy, with pretty much zero time left on the clock, has to go to the line after already being down and then basically knock down three. So you're talking about cojones being tight in that moment. Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got to hit 3 straight free throws to advance to the national championship, and there's no time left on the clock at that point.
Right.
So there's that one. A couple years ago, I think San Diego State, somebody hit one
that
we was at for that
one.
From the baseline. And so it's so many great memorable moments, man. I'm just looking forward to the ones that's going to take place this year.
So I have to ask you, what's up with the ACC? Why is it only 4 teams, I believe, in the tournament? And we've been accustomed to ACC doing, having so many teams. It was so
basketball
funny.
Conference.
Saying SEC this year, I thought they made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just so accustomed to saying ACC having 35 people in the tournament, 35 teams in the tournament. So why was the ACC so down? Was it because of NIL or what was it?
Yeah, I don't know if we can go blame it on NIL. I'm pretty sure that there's another conference that has more teams in than the ACC who hasn't done as well in NIL as the ACC has too, right? So, I mean, I'm not really sure that there is something per se that is the reason to point to it. Every conference is going to go through their up and down times. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of no matter how many teams that they got in as to who's going to go, advance to the Final Four, who's going to win national championship. The SEC got 14 teams in this year, and it won't surprise me the least bit if we didn't see any of them in the Final Four. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we seen 2 teams out of the ACC that is in the Final Four, and they only got 4 in. So, again, I mean, the rhyme or reason to it, I don't want to get on your program and play radio. You know that that's not my style. I don't know the answer, but I will say that, we are looking at something a little bit different when you're looking at the coaches and so forth, because this isn't the only year the ACC has been down. The ACC has probably been down for the last 2-3 years, maybe even 4, but I feel the most comfortable saying 3. We've seen that never-ending revolving door of coaches that have been in and out. We've seen Coach K make a move. We've seen Roy Williams make a move. Larinaga from Miami has made a move. Bennett from Virginia has made a move. Hamilton over at Florida State has made a move. Boeheim has made a move. I'm sure we've Mike Bray is no longer at Notre Dame. He's on the sidelines for the Hawks now, doing some stuff with them. I mean, and I'm sure that there's some other ones I'm just clearly forgetting about, but I think some of that might have something to do with it as well.
Yeah. So, got to ask you this question because I look at this guy every year and I'm like, yeah, why don't I trust Bruce Pearl?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, he's not the only one in that conversation. I think there's some vulnerability to him being out coached. I mean, he's not your prototypical, probably the ideal guy that you look at. If you look up in your imaginary dictionary, best coaches in the college game, Bruce Pearl's name is probably not going to
ever
show up. But when you talk about guys who can win with players, who can win without name players, you know what I mean? But guys that are going to play hard and guys that are ready to run through a wall for their coach, and a coach that's willing to run through a wall probably for his players too.
Right.
He gets the best out of them. He's very animated. I don't think he's I'm not saying much different. Yes, there is some separation. Draw the line in the sand between him and Danny Hurley as the two most, animated coaches in college basketball right now. And I think that he's a good coach. Great coach. Obviously, you got to pump brakes. But I do think he's a good coach. I just think from an X's and O's standpoint, I think that you can beat his teams if it comes down to a coaching matchup. And that doesn't take anything away from him. I think he's a really good coach. He's put in some work at Southern Indiana. He's put in some work at Auburn, obviously. He's put in some, we're talking about Auburn now, college basketball. Right. We're talking about Auburn now for an extended period of time. Not only getting them to the Final Four, beating, I think, Kansas, Kentucky, and North Carolina on the way there at that time, the game I was referencing earlier, but even more so this particular year where they're the overall number 1 seed. They pretty much beat everybody that was in their way in the toughest conference in the country and all of these other things. So you definitely got to give him some credit. But this time of the year, I understand why he's kind of hard to trust. I think he's kind of vulnerable to being out coached, but it still remains to be seen for the rest of the March Madness.
What you mentioned earlier, you were talking about how it's certain teams that you want to get to as far as that nobody is eyeing. Nobody says they're going to get here, that they're going to do well. What team or teams do you feel like nobody's giving a lot of attention to, but they're going to make a deep run, and they can make a deep run?
The name I was thinking at the time was Bryce Drew, who was at Valparaiso and hit that big time shot. He's over at Grand Canyon now. And they've got a really interesting matchup against a Maryland team that is the highest scoring team in the country amongst their starting fives. Now, there's
Warren Dixon still playing? Warren Dixon still there?
No, you would probably think so, but no, when you start looking at their top 5 guys, they score more points than anybody else's starting 5 in the country. The problem is the significant dip that there is between that 5th guy that is the starter and then the 6th man off the bench, who averages probably about 3 or 4 points a game. So that's just a little nugget for when you're filling out your bracket. Grand Canyon has an experienced team. They've been here before. I think they've been in the tournament for the past 2 years. Those guys are still there. And they've got a really nice nucleus. Of course, as you can imagine, right? A lot of those mid-major guys are returning and they're seniors now and so forth. And so Grand Canyon's always one of those teams that you want to watch out for. I like Grand Canyon there. Another one that I don't think also gets the respect that it deserves in some cases, that typical 5-12 matchup where you got the University of Michigan. Promise you, it ain't personal, but it's just the facts. UC San Diego is a good team. They're they lead the nation in terms of turnovers, creating turnovers, right? Not making turnovers. So I think they're really there in that conversation as well. And probably the last one would be the unfortunate set of circumstances that's put in front of Clemson as a 5 seed. That's going to probably be the most interesting for me region that there is the Midwest, where you got Houston as the 1. If they win, obviously, against the 16, likely they'll play up against a super freaking dangerous Gonzaga team if Gonzaga makes it as an 8 seed. But right under that is that 5-12 matchup, another one where you have Clemson, who I've been saying for so long, all this year. I know everybody talks about Duke in the ACC, but Clemson is the real deal. Returning a lot of players that are coming off of an Elite 8 on last year, their first ever, I believe, in school history. And they're tough. But the team that they're playing is tough too. And that's McNeese State, who has been in this tournament before. They were just in it last year. Will Wade has coached over at VCU after Shaka Smart after some time. Will Wade also had been the coach over at LSU. And he's not at McNeese State because of it didn't pan out. Like that was some different allegation stuff that was going on. He takes his talents over to McNeese State, man, and they've been balling out, dude. So if there's 3 teams that I want to keep my eyes and ears open for when you're filling out that bracket, it's McNeese State, it's Grand Canyon, and UC San Diego.
And real quick, speaking of that, it came out with Wade. He's supposed to be going to assign
NC State.
NC State, yeah.
Perfect spot for him. Carolina and Duke better watch out, man, because this dude can not only coach, this dude can recruit. Now, you won't some people don't love him so much, and I understand it. It almost kind of reminds me in a sense, and I promise you I'll be quick. There's going to be some people that are going to absolutely, if he's coaching your team, you're going to love Calipari. If you're not a Calipari guy,
Yeah.
you're gonna absolutely hate him. There's really no gray area there.
Yeah.
Will Wade is very much in that same conversation.
No doubt about it.
But one thing you won't question, this won't be a Bruce Pearl thing. This won't be a Rick Barnes. Will Wade can coach, and everybody in the country knows it. And it don't matter what he got to go through, clearly, based on some of those allegations, to get those guys and get them playing hard. They win basketball games, but he knows how to do it.
All right, you got to make me feel good. I'm like the 3-time bracket challenge winner in my office. I need to know, why was I so smart by walking through the other day, turning in my bracket, actually slamming it on the table like dominoes? I picked Florida to win it all. Tell me why I'm smart.
Florida's been playing the best brand of basketball in the country, first of all. Florida is one of the very few teams that, since March has started, over the course of 19, almost 20 days, that's almost 3 weeks, has not lost a game as of yet. Florida is also a team that has beaten Tennessee by 30, in Gainesville, has defeated Alabama by 20. By the way, they've beat them twice. They've beaten Ole Miss, Missouri, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, at Auburn, Oklahoma, at Arkansas, Texas, Georgia by 40, North Carolina, your heels. That's some of the best in the country right there. Not only that, but playing in the best conference in the country as well. Right. So they're hot. They won the conference tournament, obviously. They have a winning record, against top 25 teams this year, and they're 500 or more against top teams in the country this year as well. They got when you start filling out that bracket, and this is just a free space on the bingo card. When you start filling out that bracket, one of the things you always want to pay attention to is the guard play, and not just any guard play, because we know that you got to have that to win in March, but it has to be experienced guard play. And they got that. Walter Clayton, backcourt, pairing that with Will Richard, two of the best, if not the best, and at the top of the list amongst best guards in the country right now. By the way, you add a guy like an Elijah Martin, who was on that Final Four team at Florida Atlantic just a couple of years ago. He's a ridiculous athlete. Now, one of the things that concerned me at one point in time about them was that they had a very weak non-conference schedule.
Yeah.
But that didn't make a difference when you got in the SEC play. Clearly, they didn't play any ranked teams until they got to January, but they've been rocking and rolling. I think they're going to be a really, really tough out for anybody in this NCAA tournament. And I think it's good that you see a Florida kind of get back. Here we are almost, 20 years later, 19 years later from when they won a national championship. I'm a person that I'm not anti-Florida. I'm not pro-Florida, but I think it's good for the sport that you get a chance to see a Florida team. After we saw a Florida team that went back-to-back, we hadn't seen another team go back-to-back for, such a long time. Connecticut comes out and does it, and now Florida's back. Yeah. So I think it's just good to be able to see Florida get back to that point, because it's been so long since we've seen them, be relatively relevant.
All right, man, we got to let you go. I know you got other shows you got to do.
Oh, I don't get one of them long football segments is what you're saying.
No. I'm about to ask you another question, though. Hey, you got to tell us who you can you share with us who you have winning, or have you done your bracket yet?
So, of course, you know that all of this is subject to change as long as it's before tomorrow on Thursday at 12 noon. You can mix and match however you want before then. As of right now, I'm going with a little bit of chalk. Not all chalk, but I'm going with a little bit of chalk. Not rock chalk Jayhawks, so not Kansas. Don't get too excited. But I am going to go with all 1 and 2 seeds. So to meet in the Final Four, I am going to go with Duke. I'll start there. Out of the East region, representing the West region, I picked St. John's to come out of that one. Coming out of the South region, I picked Michigan State on that one. Shocker. And then I'm gonna go with the one that I think everybody's just really been disrespecting, and they're gonna be my national champion. That part is not gonna change before 12 noon on tomorrow, barring that somebody gets injured. I think it's about time that we start not only giving this guy the respect he deserves as a Hall of Fame, yes, I said it, Hall of Fame coach, but it's about time that he also wins a national championship. And I'm gonna go with the Houston Cougars and Kelvin Sampson on that.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta get down there.
Our Final Four is not the same.
In Houston, in San Antonio.
Right. I gotta get down there.
Kelvin Sampson can't coach.
We're gonna make this work, dog. I gotta be down there for this. But hey man,
he can't coach.
You tripping. All right, sorry, we're gonna let you go. Mace been on one all day.
Tell him to share it. I'm disappointed. He's not sharing.
He can't. He can't coach. He's had a lot of great teams. He can't coach.
How dare Raphael? I know we gotta go, but how dare Maceo? How dare Maceo smoke without us, man? I'm disappointed. Pass it,
know, bro.
He hogging it. Pass it.
I don't know.
Pass it.
I'm with you, dog.
They don't call it puff, puff, puff. They call it puff, puff, pass.
Bro, because he is tripping. He is
or
tripping.
Drinking or whatever. Pour me up with whatever.
10 toes down. 10 toes down.
You know what?
We'll revisit this during the Final Four when I be
Raphael,
like,
in fact,
where your man's at?
I don't even want what he having.
Right.
I don't even want that. You know what? Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, he bugging.
Hey, in about 3 weeks, we're gonna reconvene. I'm gonna say, where your man's at? Where your man's at? Y'all told me. Now, you know what? I will say this. They do have the best warm-ups and the best uniforms probably in the tournament outside of Carolina. But I ain't gonna hold y'all. All right. Whatever.
All right, man. Because I want my road dog, my guy, mad at me because
it's all good.
You held him up, and you already know what I'm talking about. So
yeah. No, it's all good. Listen, man, I really hope that you guys, whether it's Final Four or not, next weekend, gotta be in the building.
But next week you gotta come in.
Elite Eight in Atlanta, and it was very unfair of the fact that we were supposed to have the Final Four here in 2020. COVID happened, right? COVID. Prior to that, me and Raphael also got to link up because the last time they had Sweet 16 and Elite Eight here, me and him down on the floor taking pictures. If you remember, that was the Loyola year, which happens to be the same year that it was in same year that the Final Four was in San Antonio as well. They brought the Elite Eight Sweet. You see how it's all coming together. So I appreciate you guys for having me on, man. Both of y'all got my number, man. Just hit my line and let me know if we can get back on.
Next week, dog. Next Wednesday.
Next week. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're doing the same time. Next Wednesday, we're gonna be here. And we also gonna be in the building. All of us gonna be in the building again at the Sweet 16. So
I hope Calvin Sampson's still in it because if not, well, I'll tell you, I'm gonna have smoke. I'm gonna have smoke.
If we are going to, listen, some people ask me, even when we come on the air on some different shows, and people was asking me what it is about my infatuation and love about Michigan State. And it just so happens to be that they were people that were located here locally in Atlanta. If you want to know why I love this program so much, and I know this is going to sound like a lot, I'm probably biting off a little bit more than I can chew. Of course, they're going to lose for me saying this. Make sure that you're in Atlanta for the Sweet 16 and Elite Eight. You'll see exactly why I love Sparty so much. They win those 2 games in Cleveland this week. They'll be in the ATL next week, and then we'll get a chance to see a little bit more. Raphael was there with me when we checked out was a Champions Classic back in November.
Yeah,
I ain't heard nobody say Def, Texas, and Izzo in a long
time. Here's the thing about that, Maceo, and while that is definitely very true, there's this thing that has been going around for I don't know how long and whatever, whatnot, what have you. But the saying goes January, February, Izzo, April. And everybody's been calling him Mr. March because that's typically when his teams always tend to show up. But I think it's time to kind of reverse that a little bit. There needs to be starting to have some more conversations about him being named Mr. April.
Right.
But they have more work to do, clearly.
Deshaun, that's my favorite coach. So
I know it's
always been my favorite coach.
You educated me. And listen, I think this is the other part about it is that you see so many of his colleagues and so forth that has been hanging it up, right? I know well enough to know that Izzo is the coach that doesn't want to hang it up, not only so that diehard Spartans such as myself sees him win another national championship, but I just know the way he's built and wired, just that much more and just bad. He also wants to do it for all the people that are saying that he can't do it and won't do it. So I'll just leave that with you guys. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Blessings and prosperity, and I'll see y'all next week.
All right, man. We'll see you next week again, Mace.
Coach Izzo.
Be respectful.
Get Coach Izzo out of here.
Be respectful.
Coach Izzo up. Listen,
Oh, man.
real talk. I'll take Coach Izzo way before I take old Hubert Davis. I'm sick of Hubert Davis. Get him out of here.
So if that's gonna be the next question, I'm asking him next week. I'm definitely asking. I got to figure out what's going on with Hugh. So I don't know what Hugh going on, or I don't know why Hugh ain't been there or whatever, or what's going on. It's like ever since he won that national championship, man, he got to the championship game, put out Duke, put out Coach K. It just, and I said it, dog. He probably won't. He probably got another 2 or 3 years left, even with seasons like this, because of what he did at Duke and Coach K. So so we'll see. But hey, it's time for it's time for the most infamous, the most famous. Stop it. Segment. Mace, you got to stop a segment.
Yeah, and I almost gave it away. Hubert Davis, dude. We're sick of you. We're over you.
Man, what's going on tonight, man?
It's time to move on, man. Listen. How many more resources do you want? How many more tennis shoes do you need? You got Michael Jordan on freaking speed dial. If we need a recruit, you can call Jordan. I'm sick of it. We're nowhere in a position to win a natty. He has done all he's going to do at North Carolina. Get him out of here. I'm sick of him. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Stop it. Yeah, man. I hope it gets better, man. Because
it's not gonna get better. The only way to get better, Hubert Davis gotta get up out of there, man. Gotta get up out of there.
Yeah, man.
We ain't got no Ed Coder not ready to coach. Jeff McGinnis, since it got to be a Carolina guy take the job. John Lynch, Sean May. Jerry Stackhouse, come on. We always hiring Tar Heels. We can hire another Tar Heel. Get Hubert Davis out of here.
Get one more. Stop it.
Get him out of here.
All right, man. My stop it goes to Myles Garrett, dog. And it's simple and quick. This joker had the nerve to say. So, first of all, we know he got the money. Because remember he came out, I want to go to a winning franchise. Yeah. They said, hey, we can
always count. That's always count.
We can make you the highest paid non-quarterback player in the league.
Man. Yeah.
Quick, change the tune quick, right?
Dude.
This joker said, after he signed, it's never been about money. It's always been about winning. Let me say that one more time. He said, after he signed, it's never been about money. It's always been about winning. Stop it. He's going to let it go. Stop it. We give him 2 more.
Listen,
stop it.
We know if we don't know nothing else in life, when they say it ain't about the money, it's about the money.
Right.
Every time.
Right.
It's always, man, listen.
Bruh. But it's
any time a player leave with, it ain't about the money. Bruh, it's the money.
Bruh. So what makes that so dumb is the fact that he said that with a straight face. And you got to understand, they don't have a quarterback. Kenny Pickett right now is your starting quarterback.
They're going to draft a quarterback. You from the league, Cole? High five. Give me a high five. Family affair over here today. Yeah. Come on, Jamie. Come on.
I'll bring him. You got to bring him in.
My youngin. This our next future NFL star in our family right here, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was number 2, so you know.
Yeah. All right, nephew.
Y'all.
All right, cuz.
All right, big dog. That's my dog right there. That's my youngin.
But Mace,
He up next.
Mace, how can you say that? Like I said, you have a quarterback. Even if they draft a quarterback, we don't know if Nick Chubb going to sign. Who's going to be your starting running back? What receiver? I mean, now your boy went off last year. My guy,
Finally, Jerry Jeudy. Finally,
Jerry Jeudy. But still, come on, dog. So I just.
Whenever they say it's not about the money, it's always
You
about
know what?
the money.
What we gonna do from here on out? We're gonna come up with something, a segment where we're gonna play these clips and all that, and then we're gonna say we should do this on the show. What he really meant was, and we're gonna.
Nobody in life should ever fall for that. It's always about the money.
Right.
No guy has ever said
right.
It ain't about the money. And they didn't go sign the very day.
Money back. Right.
Yeah. At least he ain't gonna get the money back. At least he already went and bought a new car. Probably.
Not.
He don't care if they go 5-12 next year. He's straight.
But hey, speaking of money, Cincinnati Bengals, dog.
It's terrible.
Cincinnati Bengals, dog.
Yeah.
So if y'all been living under a rock, or I don't know. Let me tell you this deal they got. Let me tell you what they got. They gave, because we thought they were going to franchise T. Higgins, right? At least.
Yeah.
They didn't let him go. We was like, they're probably going to franchise him. They gave Jamar Chase a 4-year deal worth $161 million.
He deserved every bit of it.
He did. They gave T. Higgins a 4-year deal worth $115 million. So right now, they're the top 2 wide receivers being paid in the NFL, which has never been done before.
Right.
Then you got what is Burrow? The third highest, second highest?
Yeah, $55 million.
And then they're talking about they want to sign Trey Hendricks.
Yeah.
You think, was this dumb on their part, or was it one of the things like you like,
Dude,
man, look, we can't lose. We gotta have this connection. It's a gamble, but go ahead.
Dude, this was terrible management. And again, this is why the winning organizations do what they do and the losing organizations do what they do. You knew you had to pay Jamar. T. Higgins is a guy that you could have flipped for so many pieces because so many people were ready to pay T. Higgins. How do you fix your defense? Now, I'm going to say this, and I truly, in my heart of hearts, I believe this. The reason they did this, it goes back to one guy. And that one guy used to wear 9 in Cincinnati, Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer told his team, I would much rather retire than take any money from y'all. I just want out. Get me out of here. Because when he was telling the organization what he wanted done to make him happy and they didn't do it, I think Cincinnati, they're looking at a guy like Joe Burrow who probably looking around like, this is a cheap organization. I watched Carson Palmer walk away. At some point, I'm going to walk away from here too.
Right.
He just went in and said, hey, this is what I want, and I'm going to be happy. I get it, but to build a football team, to build a championship football, you can't fix your face and say that we're building a championship football team and we have $500 million guaranteed to 3 players. It don't make no business sense.
You can't do that. You know what, though? Now, if they're saying our defense was so trash last year that if we some way find a way to sign Hendricks and we got who we got already, and let's build through the draft. Because now you got at least, I mean, you got at least 3 years. At least 3 years. So you say we're going all defense because the tight end situation, I think they signed a tight end or re-signed a tight end this offseason. You got your running back who was he a rookie or a second year, right?
Like second year guy.
Second year guy. You ain't got to pay him another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Quarterback sold up. Now your wide receiver sold up. The offense is sold up. Now you might need an offensive line,
You need an offensive line.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow missed time last year because they couldn't protect him.
So you need that. But for the most part, now what they're trying to say is, and what they're trying to use is, they're blaming the defensive coordinator, who's been great in the past in the NFL, but they're trying to blame him. That's why they fire him. That was an excuse. That was an excuse right there. But I mean, you gotta. I mean, if they pick up some right pieces, I mean, I guess this is what they're going on. This is the gamble. We pick up the right pieces. We gotta have a hell of a draft. If we have a hell of a draft,
this Cincinnati we're talking about. This Cincinnati we're talking about.
Hey, but I know this much. They will be in games. They will have a chance to win.
They're gonna score 40, but they're gonna give up 50.
They're gonna have a chance to lose too, like they did last year.
So how does that help?
So let me ask you: would you? Well, I pretty much know the way you said answer, but would you rather have? Would you say, okay, we're gonna go all in offense, all in defense, or do both sides as far as pay your money? So all in offense, let's build through the draft. All in defense, let's build offense through the draft. Or
I would have, like I say, got to sign Jamari the best receiver in football. I'm taking T. Higgins. If somebody's gonna give me a 1 and a 2, I'm saving $40 to $50 to $100 million on him. Now I can reinvest that into my defense. Now I can sign here because you got to be able to go hit the quarterback. Now I can fill in other holes. You don't pay 2 number 1 receivers. Who does that?
Right.
Who does that? Nobody.
Right. No, I get you. I got you. All right. So what? So do you think it's a mistake by them trying to get Hendricks?
How can they afford him?
But they saying they're going after him.
What they gonna offer him?
It ain't no luxury. We don't have luxury taxes in the NFL, do we? Like, nope. So what? I'm just trying to figure out what they're going. Unless they do, you think they did it like this? Now, this is what teams usually do. This is what they try to do to. They try to do this to Julio. Well, Julio wanted, but Julio's like, I want my money up front. Then he tried to complain when it came to the end. You think they're like, hey, well, you're gonna get the guarantee money you're gonna get. We're gonna try to give you that up top, or restructure the contract with bonus, or you think it's the way they do it like that? So that way, hey, because they don't have to. That's the only way to.
Dude, Joe Burrow got to take a pay cut, or they got to remove some money.
Hey, because I don't even want to be the number 1 guy pick. I don't want to be their first overall draft pick. Not overall, but first draft pick in the NFL in the league, because you're not gonna get no money. They ain't got no money.
Well, they got to allocate. They got to put aside money for your draft class. So you got to do that. So that won't be an issue. The problem is going to be, how do you tell Hendricks that? Well, I mean, where you gonna come up with the money? And come up with the money.
Can you franchise them? You think that?
I mean, they could try.
Because why didn't you franchise?
If I'm Hendricks, I'm like, why do I want to be there?
Why didn't you franchise?
You can't give me no help.
Franchise Higgins. You should have. That's what I thought they were going to do. Like you said, or
they listened to Joe Burrow. They remember what Carson Palmer said to them. They don't want to see another franchise quarterback walk out the door. They got scared, and they gave him his wishes. And now they're going to be 5-12 next year again, or whatever they were, and no playoffs.
So right now, how it's looking, Baltimore should easily run this division again, because
you have to stay healthy.
Pittsburgh don't have a quarterback as of yet. Don't know what's going to happen with them. No. Cincinnati don't have a defense, and Cleveland Browns don't have a quarterback. And whatever quarterback they bring in is not going to be like take them to the promised land.
Nah.
What? So Baltimore got just sold up. Don't mess us up, Baltimore.
They should. They should.
They should. I mean, bro, you what? I don't know. Like you said, the best organizations. That's why the best organizations have the best teams. of what they do. You look at how Baltimore's team is constructed, looks good. But everybody else, bro, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. So if this is the case, what do you think Dallas is going to do? If Dallas seen this, I'm wondering what Jerry Jones is thinking.
Well, he only got one job, and that's to go on and sign Michael Parsons. That's all they're concerned about. You got to sign Parsons.
Do you think he signed him?
Yeah, Parsons got all the leverage. Why wouldn't you pay Dak? You pay CD. Why wouldn't you pay your best defensive player?
You can't franchise him.
I mean, you could, but if you franchise him, he gonna hold out. And even though he already said, I don't have to be the highest paid guy, but again, when they say it ain't about the money, it's about the money.
Yeah. Why would you say that anyway?
Yeah. He just like hearing himself talk, dog. He just like hearing himself talk.
That don't make sense to me. Why would you say that? All right, man. Well, look, we're gonna let that go, bro. We're gonna take a quick break, man. And we're gonna be back, bro, before we get to family in the building. All right, we'll be right.
Let's get it.
We'll be right back.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
This is Jamal Lewis, Super Bowl champion, Baltimore Ravens running back, University of Tennessee national champion, born and raised Atlanta, Georgia. You're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Real quick, man, I want to do this. What's on my mind, real quick. Mace granted me this, and I want to do what's on my mind. I'm just thinking, and about some stuff, man. What's going on in sports? But the main thing I want to talk about is probably not a popular decision or popular thing to talk about, but I think we need to talk about it. We need to give flowers, and it's appropriate I say flowers, even roses, to Unrivaled. And I say roses because Rose BC, they won the championship this year, which was dope. First inaugural championship for Unrivaled League. But I thought Unrivaled League was dope. I can't think of another league, another professional or sports league that has an off league or another league that was so successful. We look at the NFL, which is different because Unrivaled was not necessarily trying to compete with the WNBA, but still. But we look at NFL, you think of the USFL, you think of the not Europe League. What's the league? Canadian League, CFL. You think of arena football, and some of these leagues were there to help, like your leagues to help these players, get a chance to go to the NFL, and some were were competitors. You had the XFL. None of it did well. None of it did do as well as Unrivaled. Now it's only been 1 year. You know, CFL was cool, whatever, but it's only been 1 year. But still, they didn't compete. NBA, the ABA at one point, that was a long time ago. But after that, nothing could compete with the NBA. Then you come on and you have this Unrivaled league where you have the players. Again, it's not the same because they weren't competing with the WNBA, but still, you had all these players come in from the WNBA. And what's so dope about it was the fact that they're playing with different teams. So different players in the WNBA. So it's players that you've never seen play with each other, but now we get to see play with each other, whether young, old, what have you. And you see the way they played, the way they balled, the way the league thought out this process, right? Some might not like it. You can win on a free throw, whatever. I mean, they can fix that. But for the most part, when you look at this league and the way they played and the way they competed, the way it was constructed, I give them an A+. The one-on-one, had everybody talking about that. Had NBA players talking about that. And these women competed, right? You saw a team start off bad, and shout out to Rose. They were last. They were picked to be last also, and they came up and they rose to the top. Then they ended up winning. You saw a team that dominated everyone, was 12-2 in Lunar Isles, and then they lose to a Vinyl team that was struggling going into the playoffs. Like the last 4 games, they were struggling. Then they get in. So all I'm saying is, kudos to these women. Kudos to this league. Also, they pay. Also, was a way to keep these women in the United States so they don't have to go overseas. I know a few's going to go to join their teams in playoffs, championships overseas. But for the most part, they didn't have to do that. And what was so dope was you got to see players who didn't play, or you might not have known that was that good. Like for me, I think watching Ray Burrell, that was like crazy, Aaliyah Edwards, to see Aaliyah Edwards do what she did, that was great. For y'all who's doubting Chelsea, we know about Chelsea. It was so many players that you saw that was like, man, I didn't know they had that in that game. Like, I don't get to see De'Erica that as much because she's on the West Coast. I mean, as far as like watching her game every game, but to see what she can do, brilliant, was great. So again, man, kudos to Unrivaled, kudos to Nafisa, Brianna, everyone who had a hand into it, to the players, to Tish, to everyone. And even the announcers, it was great. Shout out to Turner Sports. But like I said, this is on my mind, man. I just love the fact that they did that. And if y'all don't watch women's basketball, next season, y'all need to follow it because it was dope. Competitors, competition, it was never a dull moment. It was great. So just shout out to them, man. That's what's on my mind. But, all right, man. But we got family in the building. We got to bring in none other than orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta, my guy, Dr. Donald Fowler III. What up, Doc?
How we doing?
I'm good, Doc. I don't know where Maceo went. Maceo.
I was gonna say, is it just you?
No, Maceo's here. I guess he's upset because he feels like North Carolina can't. He loves North Carolina. The fact that Duke is doing so well, even North Carolina won last night, he don't like what Huey's doing, Hubert Davis and all that. And the fact that you all still look good, y'all don't have a Cooper flag. So I don't know if he's upset about that. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he comes on or not. maybe it's that, Doc. I don't know. But I want to ask you about Cooper Flag and just ask you, I know Duke's your team also, so this is, you definitely have something into this, but with his ankle injury that happened in the tournament, the first game of the tournament of the ACC tournament, do you think he would come back and play in this NCAA tournament? And if so, when?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious from everything we're hearing that he is going to play. Honestly, when it first happened, I cringed. It's kind of like, yeah, your stomach knots up and you're like, no, not now. But and look, I mean, it wasn't one of these like he just like, you're driving and you step on someone's ankle. He skied up for that rebound, and so that was a lot of height and force coming down, and it looked like a bad roll. So I was wasn't feeling great. I mean, it was good to see him kind of by the second half out and getting up and moving, and they never put him in a boot. So the fact they didn't put him in a walking boot usually means that it's not as serious. Obviously, the x-rays were negative. I don't know if they ended up doing an MRI scan when they got back into Durham or not, but they seem to feel pretty good about where he's at. Now, anyone who has a bad ankle sprain, realistically, you're not 100% in 7 to 10 days, but I'm sure he's been getting treatment around the clock. I'm guessing he's hopefully going to be 80 to 90%, and 80 to 90% of Cooper Flag is better than 0%. So
right.
I thought that they would, when it happened on Thursday, it was Thursday of last week, so almost a week ago, in my mind, I thought, hey, they'll rest him in the first round. They shouldn't need him against whichever of these 16 seeds is. I guess it's going to be probably Mount St. Mary's. I got the game in the background, but they're probably not going to need him in the first round and give him 2 extra days and wait till Sunday. However, at the same time, it sounds like if he feels pretty good, they don't necessarily want him to come in kind of rusty for a semi-important game against an 8-9 seed who there's some good 8-9, like a lot of the 8-9 teams I think are pretty good in all the regions. So you're going to ideally need him. So I see the logic. If he is okay, even if he's not 100%, I bet they are going to play him in the first round, not like 30 minutes, but maybe like 15 to 20 minutes. Just make sure he has his groove back and is going to be humming by Sunday for the second round when I think they will need him.
Do you think that's wise? Like, again, no disrespect to whoever they're going to play, but do you think that it's wise to play him in his first game, or should they just say, you know what, let's sit him down for the second round?
Yeah, I mean, that again, when it happened, I thought that's what they would do. I was like, who cares about the ACC tournament at this point? It was great to still see him win it without him, but that's not what they're playing for. So, but again, I thought, well, if he needs those 2 extra days, sit him in the first round. But I guess at the same time, there's an argument if he's close to normal and not having any significant pain or swelling, then I do think it probably makes sense to at least get him a few minutes, not as normal PT, but at least some minutes, make sure, he feels comfortable out there so that he's not trying to find himself and it takes him until the second half in round 2 to kind of like, get back in the groove of the shot and playing game tempo kind of basketball. So I kind of like the idea of him going out there, just kind of maybe 15 minutes,
okay,
something like that in the first round. So,
all right. Now, another key injury is Grant Nelson of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And he hurt his knee, injured his knee, and they're saying questionable. There's been talks that he might not play the first game. What do you see with his injury and when he would come back?
Yeah, I mean, granted, Sears is Alabama's, heartbeat at point, but Grant Nelson is like, I mean, he's their, obviously main big guy. He can run the floor. He's a lob threat. He's a great defender. He can hit the three. He's like their versatile big man that they really need him out there to make a run. So it's a big deal for Alabama. And knees make me a little more weary than ankles. I mean, everyone, I guess would say, yeah, an ankle sprain is an ankle sprain. You can roll it again. You can irritate it. Knees are a little different. I think you got to be a little more careful with that.
Right.
So it sounds like it obviously wasn't season or tournament ending where they expect him to play. But reading between the lines, it almost seems like the opposite, where I think Alabama potentially will sit him in the first round to give that knee a couple extra days, and then more than likely you'll see him in the second round if I had to guess.
Because and Alabama you would expect them to win, but that would be tough if they lost. And but hey, if he's injured, he's injured, and I guess that's why Duke on the other end is like, no, we're just gonna let's play him, make sure he's ready for the second game. We can use him for the first game as well. So that makes sense. Then I have to ask you, we talk about knees and Joel Embiid, and you remember this trust the process. And he's really injured, but Doc, is it time, personally, I just want to know, is it time to say, let's go away from this? Or do you stick with him? We know he's an unbelievable talent when he plays, but at this point, and true, the money is guaranteed, but at this point, should we start all over, or how do you keep on with this?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think he, like you said, I don't think anyone would question Joel Embiid's talent when he's healthy. He's one of the best basketball players in the planet. But obviously healthy is an important word, and he's arguably been one of the most unhealthy players in the past couple of years. And again, he had some major injuries well before that, and it kind of seemed like he got through that. But now, like I said, the last 2-3 years, it almost obviously seems like he's missed more games than he's played. Put him in the Kawhi Leonard, put those guys neck and neck in a horse race. But it's tough because, like you said, the money's guaranteed. If this was NFL and he didn't have any guaranteed money, yeah, they probably already have cut him by now and moved on. But it's obviously different in the NBA. So I feel like he's kind of ostracized the fan base too, which is, I think, tough for the ownership and GM, because he's basically kind of said, I don't really care about the fans to some degree when they're questioning his heart and his dedication. He's obviously had some clapbacks and basically told them to stick it where the sun don't shine kind of thing. But so I don't think he's helped his image outside of that, which makes it even a more precarious situation. But unless you can actually find a trade partner to offload that salary, which it's hard to imagine someone would do at this point, I think you're stuck with them, and you got to play it out and hope maybe giving a real off season where he's not trying to rush back too soon and play, Olympic basketball or play in the playoffs, which obviously they won't be in. I think that maybe hopefully will allow whatever is still plaguing him with meniscus cartilage in his knee to get it right and maybe get more consistency in games played. But yeah, I don't see a way you can just like cut him loose with all that guaranteed money. You're not gaining anything unless, like I said, you can find a trade partner.
Only reason I bring that up, and I think about with Kawhi, everybody laughed at Kawhi when he was going to play in the Olympics, and they was like, man, how is he getting the Olympics? That was last year. And then I can't do it. I'm gonna sit out all most of the season. Now he's come back. Now all of a sudden Clippers look like they're playing well with him. He's, getting back on track. He's starting to look more and more like the Kawhi. Whereas Joel Embiid came off an injury, played in the Olympics, started off the season not playing, then he came back early to play. What I mean, do you feel like if you play in Olympics, first of all, me personally, I mean, and I don't know if you can really say, because like I said, you weren't there, you weren't working on him or anything like that, or there to be there to do what you do, but it seemed like that was the wrong choice.
Yeah,
I know you want to go. I understand that, but that was the wrong choice. And then to rush and try to come back, they took their time, but he still tried to come back, and maybe came back too early. But he just never, even though he had some good games at certain points of the season, he just never looked right though. It's like fragile, and he's always been like this. Most of his career. Well, I say always, but most of his career he's been like this.
Yeah. No, I do think in retrospect it was the wrong choice. Now, I guess I might not. I mean, Joel Embiid's a grown man; he can make his own decisions. I think certainly there was a lot of external pressure on him, and or at least encouragement. Obviously, it was a hard fought battle to get his whatever rights or citizenship, because I think he was technically there were three. It was Cameroon, USA, and I forget who the third one where he technically had. I forget. One of the European teams, I think he also had citizenship. Mm-hmm. So it was a big recruitment to get him. And I think with the US, they felt like they needed him as a versatile big who could shoot, which without him, they were kind of going to be lacking a little more at that position compared to, again, some of their competition in Paris. So I think they really needed someone like him, and I think he realized that. And so I think a lot of things went into it. And I guess they probably thought he was healthy enough to give him enough minutes. And obviously it wasn't going to turn into what it's been this year, but hindsight's 2020. So yeah, in retrospect, it's easy to say it was the wrong decision. I'm sure he will always hopefully cherish to some degree winning a gold medal and going to the Olympics and having that experience. But I do think it probably at least wrecked, kind of this season, and hopefully not the rest of his career at this point. But I guess we'll have to see.
We'll see, man. He was one of my favorite players in the NBA. I was my dog, but all right, Doc, we definitely appreciate you, man. I'm proud of you, man. After what you told me today offline, I'm proud. How has that been? Is this your first time with the baby by yourself?
Oh no, Elaine likes to leave me for work trips all the time. So she's going again next week for 2 days. So I mean, we have a nanny. So again, that helps at least until I get home. But
right. But still, the fact that you home, I'm just saying when you're home, that's
yeah.
Yeah, I just remember my first time, and I was just like, "Okay, what's going on?"
I'm just accruing my hall pass dollars so that when I want to go on a trip with the boys at some point, I got my little.
Hey, that's a smart thing. That's a smart. When I finally learned that, go ahead, go on the trip. I got them. Mm-hmm. Yep, and so yeah, that's what's up. That's you learned, you graduated. Yeah. Grasshopper. Yeah. So, well, all right, Doc. We definitely appreciate you, man, and we'll see you next week, man. Have a great week and safe week and great weekend as well.
Yeah, and enjoy. Thursday or tomorrow and Friday are honestly my arguably two favorite sports days of the year. Just with getting to watch 32 games. I won't obviously get to watch all of them, but at 32 games nonstop the next 48 hours, I think it's the most fun of the year. So enjoy.
Hey, and then the fact that you get to see on the screen at the corner the score. So, let me turn it to this. It's getting close. If you're not watching your favorite team or whatever. So, yeah. It's always been great, man. All right, man. We'll talk to you.
All right, Miss Controversy. Take care.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. So we're gonna stick with basketball. I got to talk about the Hawks. Of course, we do cover them, and me and Maceo been, I don't want to say we've been giving them flack, but we just been telling the truth, just on, and not necessarily like they can't play or they're not good, but more so on what the organization is going to do, what's going to happen. But when I look at this team now and where they are, right now, the Hawks are what? They're 5 games behind Detroit. Now, Detroit is playing outstanding basketball, but just for the simple fact that the Hawks are 5 games behind Detroit for that 6th seed, which guarantees you a playoff spot. With everything they've gone through, with the surprise trades, with the injuries, the simple fact that there are 5 games out of the 6th seed speaks volumes. And not only that, the fact that let's say if they don't get that 6th seed, well, you still get a chance to play in that home game, play a home game for the playoffs and the play-in. Even if you lose, I believe you get another home game and you have to play the winner of the next round. So this is crazy, man. And, shout out to them young guys, the Hawks, I'm going to tell you, a player that I'm really starting to like, I know we talk about him a lot, but Dyson Daniels, the fact that this guy, say it again, he still hasn't learned how to play basketball yet or play in the NBA yet, as far as like his game hasn't developed yet. But what he does, not afraid, average 5 steals a game, like I think literally. And to me, he's their rock. Like Trey is the guy, but right now, so far, Dyson is their rock. And then you see how Karis LeVert has come in and he's been able to provide some scoring when the team needs that scoring or what have you, man. So shout out to the Hawks. Shout out to Quinn too. Like I said, this is Quinn's type of team. So shout out to them. Also want to touch on Doc Rivers did something today. I can't remember if I've seen him do this. Doc Rivers came in, when he came into Milwaukee, everybody talked about this was his team. He wanted to be in control. He wanted to do this. He was going to mess up the team because he's stubborn and all of this. So Milwaukee has lost 2 in a row. They've been playing good basketball, but then they lost 2 in a row. So he called a meeting today with Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Had them come in and ask them, a meeting just for them 3. What do you think the team needs to do to improve? That's a lot. Now, I don't know if Doc has done this in the past. It hasn't been documented, or a lot of people don't say anything about it or talk about it, or it hasn't been reported. But for some reason, this year it was reported, which means he's adapting. He's changing to what it is now. And the only reason why I say that, yes, they're still veterans, but still the fact of, I think that was the thing with Doc last year and beforehand. Doc wanted to do it his way. I mean, and you can't blame him because Doc has won a championship. Doc has been to the finals more than once. But I think it's the fact that he really understood and he's saying, okay, I have to adapt right now. This is the Players League. I need to talk to my veterans, include them, what needs to be done. Let me listen to them. I wonder what happens. Like, I don't think Milwaukee, I don't know if Milwaukee's a team that can go to the finals. I mean, they're missing Porter, of course, but Portis. But I don't think they're a finals team. That they have a good team. I like what they have on paper. I don't think they can beat Cleveland. I don't think they can beat Boston. Boston is a team I really worry about, or Milwaukee. Cleveland is playing great, outstanding. I just wonder when it comes to the playoffs, with them not having a lot of experience in the playoffs as a whole, as a unit, I wonder if that's going to come in and hurt them, But hey, right now they played the best ball in the NBA so far. So we'll see. But again, kudos to Doc Rivers. Kudos to being able to adapt. Because everybody say he likes to have control. He don't like to relinquish control to anyone else, or he don't want to hear anyone else, it's my way or the highway. You know what I'm saying? But I think that speaks volumes for him to say, hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead. I want to hear what y'all got to say. You know what I'm saying? What do y'all think is the best thing we need to do? And you got to remember where he came from. You would never hear Popovich doing anything like that. Of course, you would say, well, Popovich don't need to do that because Popovich is the best. I mean, he's a great coach. Phil didn't do it. I mean, that's just how it was back then, and probably leading up to maybe the last 6-7 years. This is the way it was. So for him to adapt, I think that's a good deal. I think that's great for Milwaukee. And one thing about, we all know in any sport, when your players know that you have their back, they'll go through a wall for you. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll definitely see what happens. So look, before I get off the air, I got to talk about this. We usually do a question where every show we do a question on what players, whether it's any sport, no matter what sport is, what players, athletes that we'll do a question on, just something that, like, what did you think, or who was great, or just take us back to our just childhood or even today, whatever, right? So the question of tonight is, what was that player that you were wrong on? And not wrong as far as you thought they was going to be great and they weren't good, but that you thought they weren't going to be good and they turned out to be great. Any sport. I'm going to start off with basketball. The number one player I had, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, it was Tim Duncan. I didn't think Tim Duncan was going to be good coming out of college. I know he was Mr. Wake Forest. He was good. But to me, Tim Duncan was slow. And, I was 90, what did he come in, 97, 98? So I was younger then. I'm like, this dude, he had moves, but it was like, that's not going to work in the NBA. He don't have no style. The Joker play with his head always looking down. Like, he can't play. I was, of course, definitely wrong on that. I would have never thought that Tim Duncan would have been what he turned out to be. Never in a million years thought that he was going to be that good. And not that good. I didn't think he was going to be good. I thought he was going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? His rookie year surprised me. But I'm like, he's just doing it because he got the Admiral. But I would have never thought he would be that good. Of course, Steph don't count. I knew Steph was going to be good. Like I said, I thought Steph was going to average 25, but I didn't know Steph was going to do what he did or whatever, averaging 30 or whatever, and 29 and 28 and be the greatest shooter ever. I thought he could be one of the greatest shooters ever. I always thought I was Reggie, but I would have never thought Steph was like that. But I think everybody felt like that. So that's hard to say. In football, who I thought wasn't going to be as good as they turn out to be, whether it's today or back then. I didn't think, like I said, saying Emmett, that don't count. I'm trying to think who came in football that it was like, I didn't think Vic was going to be that good. I knew he was electric, and somebody say, well, his career wasn't as great as, it wasn't that great. He couldn't, you look at his yardage, whatever, but I'm just saying the eye test is good. I didn't think he was going to be that good. And people forget Vic's rookie year, I think he only threw like 5 interceptions or something like that, 4 or 5 interceptions. Not rookie year, second year start. First year, his second year, first year starting. He only threw like 5 interceptions the whole season. I didn't think he would be that good. I didn't think he would. I knew he was fast or whatever, but we see a lot of players that came out of college, quarterbacks that had all this speed and flair, and when they get in, or just good period, and they don't do anything. I did not know Vic was going to be that good. I thought he was going to be decent at best or whatever. And we saw him immediately take the Falcons. I mean, took him to the NFC Championship, man. Like, had him win a playoff game in Lambeau his second year. Like, that was ridiculous. Another person I thought wasn't going to be as good as he turned out to be. I didn't think that. I know this don't sound crazy. I didn't think that Larry Fitzgerald was going to be that good either. I thought Larry Fitzgerald was going to be a decent wide receiver. You know, he was nice at Pitt, but I didn't think he was going to tear up the NFL like he did and be that great professional, great wide receiver. Anytime you need him to do something, he was going to do it. I didn't see that coming. Like I said, I thought he was going to be like decent at best. That shocked me. In baseball, it's hard to say in baseball because I didn't watch, I don't really pay attention to the draft like that, MLB draft like that. But I'm trying to think. Okay. I know it's crazy. I'm in Atlanta. You hear about Acuna, but we heard about him, but I didn't know he was going to be that good. I mean, especially when he's healthy, but I didn't think he would be that good. I didn't know Acuna was going to be that good. I didn't think Aaron Judge was going to be that good. I thought Aaron Judge would be just a homer guy, 45 homers, batting 260, 35, maybe 40 home, 260, which is good, but I didn't think he was going to be like he is. This Joker's insane, man. I didn't see that. I'm trying to think one more sport that I was shocked that they were good at, or they were good. Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. I thought he was all right. I thought he was like, all right. Everybody's good in college, depending on where you play. Everybody's good in college. And Kawhi, definitely. I want somebody to tell me that, besides his family members, to tell me that Kawhi was going to be good at basketball. I didn't see that coming. Playing at San Diego State, he was pretty good, but again, no flair. No, and remember, he came into San Antonio. He was decent. They kept talking about him. It was him and Danny Green. I thought Danny Green was going to be the better player. I think he's going to be the better player, out of them two rookies, and he do well. He do pretty good, and then they get to the finals. Then he had, it was all right finals the way he, played against LeBron. LeBron still got off, but still, it was like, this guy was good. He won an MVP. Like, he didn't have great numbers. But, man, after that year he got hurt and he went to Toronto, wow. And after that, we saw what he did. We saw him lead that team to a championship. And, unfortunately, the injuries have bugged him throughout his season, throughout his career. But, yeah, I probably would have bet my house if you'd have told me he would lead a team to win a championship. Like him, I would have never believed that, like him even with him going to, and you start to see him play well in San Antonio, but him going to Toronto, and there's no way he could do better than DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, nah, he can't do better than DeMar DeRozan. I apologize. So, but like I said, my main guys that I felt I didn't think it was going to be good was Tim Duncan, Michael Vick, and Kawhi. I didn't see them. I didn't see them, doing good at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Aaron Judge, I just didn't think he was going to be that good. Acuna, I didn't think he was going to be as good as he is. But the other guys, I'm like, nah. Again, Duncan, he aight. I almost was about to get him the garbage tag when he was coming out. I mean, and not because of I thought he couldn't play. It was just, aight. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. He's okay. You know what I'm saying? He's boring. Who wants to watch Duncan? So, either who, man, that's the show. Maceo just hit me up. Maceo said he apologized. He had some technical difficulties with his computer, so he'll be back on next week. We'll be back next week. And like I said, man, I always have fun doing this, man. This is what we do. Never trade this, man. I could talk sports all day and all night, man. But hey, you music? You already know what it is, what it means. It means it's time to let you go. I got to give a couple shouts out and stay tuned because you might be one of them. First off, I want to give a shout out to the Almighty God for giving me this platform to do what I do, say what I say, make you all happy, upset, mad, want to give me the stop it button. God, I appreciate it. Also, I want to give a shout out to my guy, Mace. And I was about to say, Mace, you got something to say, but I can't say that. But either or, shout out to my guy, Mace, man. It's my dog. Appreciate you, dog. Also, shout out to Dr. Fowler. Always coming in, always giving us that knowledge on these injuries and everything. And, he knows some sports, too. He's biased with Duke and Washington and all that, whatever. Either or, shout out to Doc. Also, shout out to Deshaun Tate for coming on, man. We appreciate you, Deshaun, man. I had a good time, bro. Hey, y'all follow the 3-point conversion. Make sure y'all follow Deshaun Tate. It's Tate's Take. Tate's Take. It's Tate. I think apostrophe S. And then TAKE, and that's on Instagram, Facebook. Follow him. He's covering the attorney in Cleveland for the 3-point conversion. Of course, he's going to be doing it all throughout the whole tournament. Also, I want to shout out to everyone, man, who was in the chat. Lisa, I appreciate you. CJ Bentley, Antoine. Who else is in there with us, man? We had Jacob, like always. We appreciate you, Jacob. Bossman Williams, we appreciate you, man. Hey, and everybody who listens to the show, I'm going to watch the show as a podcast, listen to it as a podcast. We appreciate you too. Also, I want to give a shout out to my lovely children, my nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, grandparents, play cousins. Hey, man, make sure you love family. Love them while they can still feel it. Love them while they're still alive. Let them know they can feel it. Also, eat good, drink responsibly this weekend. Hey, man, so many things going on in sports. You got basketball right now, man. You got college basketball. You got March Madness. You got the NBA jockeying for playoff positions. Baseball, spring training. You got hockey jockeying for playoff positions. WNBA about to come on. So much. Hey, but until then, next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. When you miss me, I'm out. Peace. It's not my team though, y'all, but it's my guy right here. Yes, Air Jordan. That's how the shirt is made. It's not because of the screen. It's backwards for real. So we out.
What up, y'all? You know who it is, your boy Kiss. Right now, you checking out the 3-point conversion.